Tuesday, and today we're exploring life with dyslexia. Those with dyslexia are intelligent, of course, but can have difficulties reading, spelling, writing, and speaking due to a difference in the way the brain processes information. Some people are diagnosed early in life, but many don't realize they have dyslexia until they are older. Our fashion stylist, Janielle Mckoy, is one of those people. We were talking about this, and we thought, let's talk about this on the show. So she's here to talk about learning to thrive with dyslexia. And I love that we get to hear your story, and you get to share your story, because I feel that there are viewers that this will resonate with.
Absolutely.
So what made you feel, like, what was the thing that made you feel, okay, I think maybe my mind works differently?
Well, I started noticing little things. I'd say when I was in grade 3 or grade 4, I would look at the chalkboard, and as I'm reading, everything just kind of became a blur. So I would read a sentence, and as soon as I got to the middle, it was like this huge blur around, and then I focused on this one little word. And it was like repetitive over and over and over again every day. And I remember I was telling my mom, I was just like, I think I need glasses because everything is so blurry. So she took me to the doctor to get tested for glasses. They said I had 20/20 vision. So I was like, okay, cool. And then because I have a younger sister, my mom started noticing like little learning differences, learning patterns where my sister would be able to pick up on stuff really quickly, and then me, not so much. Like, I didn't really know left and right until I was like 15, 16 years old. I had issues with that. Or even tying my shoelaces, or even putting on my shoes. I would always put them on backwards and walk around with them on backwards.
It felt right.
It did. It totally did. I was just like, okay, maybe this is how it's supposed to feel.
Now, how were you diagnosed, and how did you feel about getting the diagnosis? Because you didn't get it in grade 3.
No. So I went all through elementary school and through high school without a diagnosis. My mom was like my biggest advocate. Every like parent-teacher interview, she would always go and talk to the teachers and be like, okay, her report card is looking really, it's looking bad. Like, what's happening? And the teacher would be all, they would be all like, oh, you know, Janelle's such a sweet girl, this, that, she's so nice. So my mom was like, okay, but get to the report card. They were like, well, yeah, she's struggling here, here, and here. And my mom was just like, okay, so what can be done? They're like, oh, no, she's just shy. She'll figure it out. And I remember I got into high school, and my guidance counselor flat out told me that there was no hope for me, and that I would never get into college and to university, and that I should take a course called General Arts and Science and find myself. So after failing college like 5 times, I decided to go to George Brown, and told a guidance counselor by the name of Stephanie Burke all of the issues that I had with learning, and she brought in a psychologist. And at that time, I was on OSAP, and I was able to get tested for free. So yeah, I was 23 when I was diagnosed, and it was like a game changer for me.
So game changer in a good way. I just want to pause for a second and just say this has happened to so many Black students in the Toronto District School Board.
Yes. So
you go in and say, I'm learning differently, and they say, you're shy, you're a sweet kid, you know, maybe that the academics just aren't for you. That's a problem. So even with your mom advocating, you weren't able to get someone, you know, an academic professional to take your issues seriously until college.
Till college.
So that's just a warning for the parents out there. Like, you really have to be, forward about trying to get that information for your kid.
Absolutely.
And maybe get the private tests if you can afford it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Because what they would do is they would pile us all, like students that have ADHD, students that had like physical disabilities, and then they would put people like myself with dyslexia all in the same class and expect us to all learn that way. And that it was a traumatic experience. It doesn't work.
So tell me about the diagnosis then. You find out, is it the best thing, or are you upset about it, or are you just happy?
It was mixed emotions. Because I'm like, okay, now what? Because when you're younger, your brain is able to absorb so much. But when you're older, I'm like, okay, so what do I do with this? Who do I tell people? So I remember, like, for 2 years, once I was diagnosed, I would have to go to my guidance counselor every time I would have like homework and so on. And from there, we just built like a relationship where I would ask questions and so on. And I received tools like writing in colored pens, highlighting my work. or even listening to instrumentals when I study. So those things really helped me, but it was definitely challenging while I was in college, and even when I came out of college, it was quite hard, for sure.
Now, you're a fashion stylist,
Yes.
and you do all sorts of things in the fashion industry,
Yes.
and you say fashion saved your life.
Yes.
Why is that, or how did that work?
So I say that because fashion was a way for me to express myself physically when I couldn't do so verbally.
Right.
If you told me, Tracy Moore, that I would be sitting in front of you right now, if you told me this maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I would have been like, you're crazy. Like,
really?
there's no idea. Like, even when I got Cityline, remember I messaged you, I was like, you want me to be on TV?
Yes. We would like for you to be on the TV.
Yeah.
Hang out with us.
It didn't make any sense. I'm like, this is wild, because I don't do that type of stuff. I don't really talk in front of people because I was so scared to do so.
Oh my gosh, and you do it so brilliantly.
Oh, thank you.
So it just goes to show, right? Once the barrier is taken away, you can do the things.
Exactly, exactly. And just with the right tools and just the confidence.
Yeah.
I think that was super important. So yeah, fashion it's my expression. It's the way I express myself. It's how people know me.
Yeah.
So yeah, it definitely saved my life.
So just your final words, because you're now in a position where you can help other people that might be going through this, maybe who have not been diagnosed yet. Your advice for folks that have dyslexia that might be thinking, I can't do these things because of this disability.
Know that you can. Number one, like I call dyslexia like my superpower, and I also say I have a learning difference, not a disability, because I learn differently than everybody else. And to anybody that may know somebody that has dyslexia, even parents out there that have a child that they're not too sure that may have a learning difference, patience. Patience is extremely important, and even just giving yourself grace, knowing that it's going to be okay, and just keep pushing through.
I love that it's a superpower.
Yes.
So good. It's nice to hear about the positives too, right?
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, Janielle.
Thank
You're doing
you.
brilliantly.